Edwards on the drive, goes inside the floater. Turn him over again. Booker scoops it up. Booker brings the boom.
We are live. We are on time. And we got AP, Big T, myself, and, not shooting any shots at JSU, but Big T's here on time. So, Big T, I gotta give you the floor first. So let the people know that we started the show on time, and maybe this is you trying to make a statement.
Correct. And now everyone can see the truth that it's always me waiting for John. He's off fasting somewhere. I mean, sending tweets about not eating food and being proud of it. Just terrible stuff all the way around. Terrible stuff, John.
I did laugh at your quote tweet at our guy John.
He was so proud of that too. He's like, I've done this since I was 8 years old. I eat once a day all week, and he's so proud.
To be fair, I did a fast like maybe a month or two ago, and I enjoyed it. Now I'm not doing it every day, or not every day, but every week like John. But
what did you enjoy about it? Like what made you happy about it?
It gives you a lot of mental clarity. I don't know. You feel better. My body felt better too, I would say. So I don't know. I definitely felt like I was thinking more clear, and I felt like my body felt better. But obviously you can't like not eat forever. You know what I mean? But it did feel good on that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm doing it every week like John, but who knows? Maybe one day. So
I agree with both.
Mango.
I don't know how to explain it. Like
Mango. I'm looking at the schedule right now. You and JSU are on a show Wednesday. You got all the time in the world on Wednesday to talk about fasting, but not on Monday. Not with me and Big T on here.
I thought
fasting. Come on, man.
I thought you were going to tell me to fast till Wednesday and then hang out with them.
That's a good point. Fast till the Wednesday show.
That's what I thought you were going to say. You got 2 days to fast. And
I love that. You guys should both not eat until Wednesday and then talk about the mental clarity on Wednesday on the show.
Yeah, that would be funny. So
we should have like a contest of who cannot eat the longest.
John would win. Win.
JSU
would definitely win.
Yeah. So, but all right. Well, AP, let's go to you. Obviously, NBA. I know you've had some good hits over the past week or so. It's been a fun time in the NBA streets. I've been enjoying it. We just got to keep grinding and keep playing these horrible basketball players. How was March Madness though for you, AP? And are you excited for NBA?
How much March Madness did I watch? Not very much. I'll be honest. You guys would laugh and make fun of me. I mean, look, we're not in the correct environment. Normally, we'd be at Big T's watching the games and everything. But the March Madness streets, they kind of hurt my feelings, and I got fed up with it. There's a few games I was watching that I thought were kind of boring, and so I turned on some NBA games that also people would make fun of, because it's like, why are we watching these two teams tanking? But it is what it is. Absolutely love the NBA streets. And yeah, on a heater right now, we're going to continue that tonight. I mean, we have dust ball versus dust ball. We got tanking teams versus tanking teams. I mean, it projects to be a really fun slate tonight.
Yeah, well, I had fun with March Madness. I watched most of the games. I got I think a third place on one of the night slates, so that was good. Overall, I made money throughout the first weekend. Of course, we got a couple more weekends left. There's still big contests to win, so hey, it's not done yet. But Big T, you are the March Madness guy, and it was a chalky beginning to March Madness. So what was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I sent a tweet before the tournament that said I thought it would be the chalkiest tournament in my lifetime. It held up pretty much. St. John's got beat, but really all the chalk held up. Only one double-digit seed made the Sweet 16, and I think we see even more of it next weekend. I think the ones just keep marching on, and I think the big dogs reach the Final Four, which will make amazing basketball. If somehow those four make the Final Four, or even the Final Eight, if like all the favorites win or close to it this next round, you're going to have some amazing games coming up. And Yeah,
Some
of the games are bad for sure, but I love March Madness.
I got a question for you guys. Is the biggest surprise like the Big Ten? Like I fired off these tweets about the Big Ten, and the funny thing about it is I watched like none of it. Firing these tweets off, like acting like I'm watching them play and stuff. No, I wasn't. I just got to support my Big Ten conference. But I thought they sucked all season from the limited like games I watched. I've been kind of surprised with how they're doing right now.
Well, they kind of fell off in round 2 a little bit, right, Tony? I mean,
I think there's still there's 7 SEC and 4 Big Ten, and
there's 7 SEC, which I heard. When Texas loses, people go, the SEC isn't that strong, and I mean, what are we doing? It's 7 of 16, like it's.
And it's just one of those things that there's no long shots left. Like there's no dark horses. Arkansas is a 10 seed, but they're not a dark horse. They got tons of talent. So there's just no, what do you call it, Cinderella teams left. But the Big Ten, I think they're good, but they haven't won a title since 2000. So they gotta do a little more damage before your tweet is officially wrong. I think your tweet's still correct.
James, there's no team I hate more than Creighton. So that's where I stand.
Yeah, I was kind of rooting for Colorado State a little bit. I was watching with a Maryland fan, so it was one of those things I couldn't really like root too hard because I was like, I thought that team is awesome. Like they're just
fun. They're a fun team.
They're a very fun team, and also for DFS reasons, I know we'll get in the NBA in a second, but Clifford is a monster, and he had missed so many threes that I figured, okay, I know he was hot before, but it would have turned right back around, and I was going to load up on him in DFS, but. I know people aren't coming here for that, but Big T, you are a March Madness guy. I like March Madness as well, so I figured we'd talk about it a little bit off the top. Who was your pick to win, and are you still feeling confident? Mine was Florida. I'm still feeling confident. What about you?
I mean, I picked boring chalk picks. I didn't pick it. I picked Duke, and I think Duke is like by far the best team, so I'm very confident in my Duke pick.
Yeah,
it was boring this year as far as that, though. I wish I liked more underdogs because it's funner. It's funner to like have takes, but the winners are the winners, right, man? You know that from the cash streets. The winners are the winners. Yeah, if they're the winners, you got to pick them.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, they don't ask you when you go up to the window. They don't say, "Oh, that was a contrarian pick," or whatever.
And each game that like you get further, I've learned this over all the years in March Madness. You got a better chance knocking these teams off early. The later they get, the more dialed in they get, and the harder it is to beat them. So, like, once a team like Duke and these teams make the Final Four, I mean, good luck. It's tough sledding getting them out in there.
Yeah, just watch. I'm excited to watch Arizona play Duke. That one should be fun, as long as Caleb Love is in his bag like he was last night. That was a fun last game to kind of close the March Madness weekend. But, all right, people are getting bored. AP wants to talk about Raptors, Wizards, and Mavericks, Nets, and Sixers, Pelicans. He wants to talk about all these dusty teams. Listen, I even played NBA yesterday, AP, so I've been grinding in the streets. I made some money yesterday. I think I made 38 cents off my 50 entries that I put in. So I'm still grinding it out. I'll be grinding it out today with the people. AP, were you on the playbook today?
Yeah.
All right, so give us
it's up and ready to go.
Give us a slate overview then. You have been digging into everything. I saw you posted DeAndre Jordan on the flow chart. So you are dialed. So
DeAndre's on the flow chart. Oh,
he is. And look, these aren't like biased numbers. It's I got to come to much like Tony does during NFL season. It's the flow chart is what it is. It's the numbers. And Chicago has not been able to stop anything in the paint. I actually this slate's so fun tonight because you got to backload. The first window doesn't matter in my opinion. Like the Raptors, Wizards. I honestly think you could probably full fade that game. Lakers, really tough spot. I do think you want one of Franz or Paulo. They're going to smash. And then the Wolves, Pacers. Are we ever mad for avoiding a Rick Carlisle team? No, we're not mad. And so it comes down to the later window, which is Philly Pelicans, which has all the value in the world, 2 tanking teams fighting it out. I mean, I sent a tweet off that I think encompasses this game really good a little bit earlier. So, and then we get the late night hammer. If you haven't watched the Bulls lately, they're an absolute buzzsaw. They unlock something in Giddey and the guys around them. It's really, really impressive. But I think you got to keep an eye on the starting lineup for the Nuggets because, well, Jamal Murray went off last game. It would be nice if Russ was starting here because I don't think anyone's going to play him. And this is like an actual better matchup for Russ because the Bulls have no rim protection. They're just getting destroyed in the paint. And so, I mean, the debate in Discord that we're talking about is, DeAndre Jordan is going to start again. I guess, unless Tony has some insight since he's the Nuggets guys, with what Malone said yesterday and how much he was just stroking DeAndre Jordan, he played 38 minutes yesterday, okay? Like, that's a lot. He was awesome, though, in 38 minutes. I don't know how, he doesn't have some sort of role tonight. So, but we need starters. We need to see what the lineup looks like. Aaron Gordon also is questionable. So, my take on the slate is, go easy on the early games, backload, and take your time and let the news roll in.
Yeah, you know me. I love a slate that we get to backload all of our guys to the end. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, Giddey almost had Big T. You may have missed this. Did you see Josh Giddey had 8 steals and almost had a quadruple double? He just needed 2. I think he didn't get it right. AP the quadruple double.
No, he was close. Yeah, it was an insane game.
Yeah,
he was 2 steals away from a quad double.
Yeah, it was a wild game. So, but also Bronny James put up 17 points, I think, while you were away, Big T. So there you go.
I've seen Bronny. I still am on the side that Bronny's better than people think he is.
I said the same thing too. I got made fun of. No one was watching that game. I turned it on because I was upset with college basketball. I watched Bronny's 31 minutes. I thought he looked good. I mean, Discord was making fun of me laughing. I thought he looked good. I thought he looked decent.
How many rookie guys look shitty anyways the first year? Like, they hold him to a higher standard than just because he's LeBron's kid.
Well, the problem, Big T, is the way he got into the league. People don't like that. I think that's the issue.
But yeah,
I'm explaining where it comes from. That's all. That's where it comes from. They don't like that.
If your dad was LeBron James, you'd have a chance too.
If you watch that game, though, he was aggressive. He wasn't tentative with his shots. He was bad defensively, but still, you saw signs of, the guy can play. He can definitely play ball. I think you just keep him in the G League, let him develop more, but it's not like he was terrible.
I mean, his problem's always going to be just his size. If he was
small, man.
Size, he would be fine. He's just too small.
Yep, that is one of the problems, but I did not watch the game. I figured I'll go back and watch it
You're going to go back?
No.
You're not. No, we're not going back and watching it, man. Come on.
I said it wrong. I was going to go back and watch it, and then that night I was like, I don't want to do that. And I said, I figured he's going to run that back again, right? He'll do it another time.
I was going to be very impressed if you went back and grinded that game tape.
Yeah, maybe I will. We'll see. I got the 2 TVs now.
Hey, you got 2 TVs now. Put it on the one.
Yeah.
It did kind of feel like a Make-A-Wish game because, the Bucks even, you could tell they felt bad. They rolled out Ryan Rollins for, 33 minutes, and Kevin Porter Jr. just looked so checked out. He was, the guy I was all in on that slate. But, it is what it is.
All right, well, let's get into the slate. First game up, AP. We got the Lakers and the Orlando Magic. Of course, we got to talk about it. We got LeBron James back in our lives. I will say this, too. Orlando's, I don't know what you think about this, AP, but I was looking at the standings the other day. I didn't realize Orlando tanked as much as they did in the standings and everything. And
because they were hurt all season.
Well, sure. But they were hurt for a while and they were the 4 seed. I guess it's really
Paul was hurt for months. Franz was hurt. I mean, they've been battling injuries for a while now, but they're starting to show signs of life. And I don't know. I think they could upset the Lakers. I love the Lakers. And I think they're going to be awesome, but this is a tough spot going across country.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just admit, I was surprised to see they fell underneath the Hawks. I know the Hawks been playing better basketball, but that was all I was kind of getting at. But yeah, I know they've been dealing with injuries the entire season. They're playing the Lakers tonight, though, and of course, DFS-wise, we got Luka, 12.3K. Problem is LeBron's back, right? So do we want to pay the 12.3 price? It's easy to get to Luka if you want to. It's not really an ideal matchup, right? You really don't want to play guys against the Orlando Magic in general. So I don't see myself really going to too many Lakers unless it's maybe a spend with a LeBron or a Luka. On the opposite side, we know what Banchero's been doing. He's 9.9K for a reason. Franz Wagner, 8.9K. I like when Cole Anthony's out, because when he's out, it just funnels all that usage to those two guys. I will say, if Cole Anthony does play, which he does have the questionable tag on right now, along with Trevelin Quinn and Rui Hachimura, but if Cole Anthony plays at 5-1, he does have the ability to be on the winner, like at that, just in that matchup against the Lakers with the pace they play at. So he's just someone in tournaments that has a ceiling at 5.1K. But if he's out, I am going to like Banchero and Franz Wagner. I assume you're the same here, AP, but what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think he plays. I think it's going to be Franz and Paulo. And like, look, with the Magic, if they had Jalen Suggs too, like, I would not want to face this team headed into the playoffs if they had everyone active. And it's taken some time, like with Franz. He looked pretty bad when he came back from injury. I like what I've seen the last two games, played Houston and the Wizards. I mean, he was so good against Washington last game. Again, that's Washington. But I like this spot. I think Franz, 8,900, like how I want to start my night is one of Franz or Paulo. I've been running this group rule for a while now. It just seems to make sense with those two when they're priced appropriately. And I just know that my lineups, likely tonight will start with Paulo or Franz and most of them. And then I can't play anyone from the Lakers. I really want to see what happens with the Nuggets lineup and with Aaron Gordon and the Bulls game later, and then obviously starters in the Philly game. And so I want to keep as many roster spots as available. And look, like the Lakers are it's a horrible matchup. 214 total. Magic play slow. They don't like to play in transition. They like to play in the half court. And you got the Lakers are healthy. And Austin Reeves is still like almost 9K. Luka is over 12K. LeBron's over 10K. I'm just going to avoid the Lakers entirely, play one of Franz and Paulo, and call it a day with this game.
Does not seem like a bad approach there. Also, AP, do you think Luka's over-owned tonight with the cheap chalk all available?
No, honestly, you could argue that probably under-owned. Like if there's any guy that could go out and just smash with all the value we have available, it could be Luka. So, I mean, I will say there's a lot of really good guard value, though. So, but again, he's one of the guys that could, 60-something could be enough on this slate, and he's capable of doing that in any matchup. I'm going to make a stand and not play.
All right, Big T, we'll go over to you. Magic and Lakers, probably not the best fantasy game. We got tons of good value later on, but what's your thoughts on this first game?
Yeah, these price points are just they're not playable. I mean, Luka at 12-3 with LeBron and Austin Reeves, just like you guys said, it's just not playable. Like he's going to be totally unowned. I mean, he's going to be under 10% owned. So I agree with AP's point that he might be under-owned. As we go through, maybe I have more interest in him just because sometimes when there's a ton of cheap plays, you can just take a floor from a Luka and get like 60 and be okay with it. But as of now, I mean, I don't see how you can play any of these Lakers. I guess maybe LeBron would be the guy I would play, if any, just because he's 10-3. His projection kind of matches up nicely. But I'd still rather play Paulo in the same price range. Franz, even Wendell Carter seems like a decent play with no rim protection from the Lakers. It seems like a perfect matchup, though, for Paulo to me. I'm a huge Paulo guy. I don't see who they're going to really put on him on that side of the ball. I like it, but I also like the plan of just waiting for these later games because they look very tasty.
All right, sorry about that. I was stuck on mute. Let's get to the next game. I agree on Paolo, though, Big T. He's a good play. He has a spend up, especially if Cole Anthony's out. I think that even helps them even more. Let's get to Minnesota and Indiana. Injury news in that game. And Big T, I'm not giving you the full injury report. Don't you
I
worry.
love it like this, game-by-game injuries. I like that.
There you go. So you're getting Benedict Mathurin and Anthony Edwards questionable, which that matters.
I mean, can't we, after the game he had the other night, can't we, Mathurin, we got to honor him. I mean, the dude nuked the other night, like absolutely nuked. I think it's deserving there, man, going. What did he put up? Did you see that game? A 58 piece?
I don't know which one.
Against the Nets. It was during March Madness. So.
Oh, that was a day game. I didn't watch that one. That was not part of the slate, I don't think. Or was that Saturday? Was that part of the slate?
I don't know.
I think Saturday's
the Pacers, though.
Saturday's the one NBA day I did not play because I don't think I had any content. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to play this one. I got March Madness to only worry about. And that was the day I did good in the night slate. So I was happy I took off of NBA to focus on that. But yeah, I'm calling him betting the Theron. I don't care, AP. The people don't like it, and I'm going to keep doing it. So, and of course, Tyrese Halliburton as well. 8.5K. I will say he's been in his bag over the past 10 days or so. He's been just pretty good when he's played. Yes, he's been in and out of the lineup. But the Anthony Edwards stuff is huge, right? Because if Ant Edwards misses this game, I mean, it's hard to ignore with the value that would open up in this game, right? Julius Randle, 7.5K. You could argue he should be an 8.5K player or higher in a spot with no Anthony Edwards. Rudy Gobert at 6'3", they are going to need his size. I mean, you could make the case for him. Jaden McDaniels, AP, I know when we saw them really shorthanded, he was someone that was putting up 20-plus shots a game about a month ago or so. Naz Reid at 5'9", that would be too cheap of a price tag. Dante DiVincenzo, 5'4". I mean, there'd be clear values here. Of course, you have to make an argument that how would these values be versus the other values? Of course, we don't have this news yet, AP, but talk about Minnesota and Indiana because this has the opportunity to be a pretty good fantasy game.
I mean, I kind of think Julius Randle's appropriately priced. I hate this guy, man. He's frustrating again. And in his defense, the Wolves have been one of the few teams that have been pretty healthy most of the season. And so that's reflective there in the price. Anthony Edwards, I would be surprised if he didn't play. Usually shows up in these bigger games, which, look, it's a 1-point spread. This game should be pretty tight. I think he shows up. Pacers have been playing some better ball, and a lot of that's on the heels of Tyrese Halliburton. He's been awesome. He's shown a lot more upside for DFS too. So in the early window, outside of Paulo and Franz, I do have a little interest in Halliburton. And then, Edwards is just always a guy you keep in the pool. I mean, he can go off at any time. But if he's in, I'm likely just, again, I want to keep as many roster spots open as possible. And the more of these guys you kind of plug into your pool and get exposure to it, it limits your flexibility later on in the slate. I want max flexibility headed into the 8 Eastern window. And I'll the same message even for the Dallas Nets game. If I have one of Paulo or Franz, and I've already ran this a few times, you can make some really, really nice lineups just then fully stacking the 2 late games. So that's pretty much going to be my approach. Obviously, the kicker is if Anthony Edwards misses, it changes things up quite a bit, and we're re-looking at things. I think it upgrades DiVincenzo quite a bit. Nas been fine off the bench, and then you do have to then consider plays like Randall. The Pacers side, I mean, Siakam just feels overpriced. I never get him right, and so I'm going to fade him on this slate. Would rather find ways to get up to Franz or Paulo. And then the one guy is Halliburton. So it's kind of a Halliburton or pass for me.
All right, Big T, I'll go over to you. Obviously, AP brought up a good point, right? If you get stuck on plays in this game, you could miss out on later plays. And that is a common theme, I think, at this time of year that I kind of focus on. And I just kind of agree. If early plays go pretty crazy, I'm okay with it because you know why? If I play multiple slates, there's going to be opportunities where edge hits that I'm just going to be ahead of the field on. And those are the slates I'm going to win, right? That's kind of one of the choices that I like to make. Curious to see if you're going to backload or maybe Big T777 enters the chat based on how the news hits in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to really go heavy on this game unless, like you guys said, if Ant's out, I mean, all these guys become pretty good plays. But still, I mean, they're still somewhat expensive. I mean, Jaden McDaniels at 6,200. I like it, but do I love it? No. And the way the late games are going to fall, it's just hard to get away from those games for me with the way these games sets up. I kind of think Ant plays too, so that it doesn't really matter. And Indiana's the type of team that I just never like guys from Indiana. They're okay. I mean, Pascal always grades out as a decent play. Miles Turner always has a little upside. Halliburton obviously has been playing better lately. But none of them pop off the page. And to your guys' point, if a play doesn't pop off the page early, or they're like some sort of contrarian play that you love, why lock them in when you got the potential for just amazing plays later in the night? And it's not like a super long window. I know the one game's at 9, but you don't got a ton of news to monitor. It's pretty easy to wait for the 8 and the 9, only one game each time slot. Look for lineups. I like AP's plan of that, where you play 1 or 2 early guys, 3 even, and then just save a ton of roster flexibility for those 2 late games.
Yeah, I like leaving the flexibility open. It's just so important to do. So I'm in on that. Let's see. We got the banana peel stuff in the chat, AP. I know you're laughing about that, all that. I'm not as plugged in with that bit as you are, but I'm sure you're having a good time with that in the chat. Let's get to the next game. Last game that locks at 7 o'clock Eastern. It's the Toronto Raptors and the Washington Wizards. Man, AP, you talked about liking to watch some greasy, bad basketball. Well, brace yourself, because Toronto and Washington is that. Problem is, do I want to play them DFS-wise? I just don't know if I want to play them as much, right? We know the Toronto Raptors they can be quite frustrating. Every single play I'm seeing on DraftKings is below 10%. Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, all these guys. I don't really want to deal with them. I know Colin Castleton, he was projecting pretty good the other day. We'll see if he slides into that starting lineup. Jordan Poole, he's the only guy above 10% in this game, and the rest of the guys look like they're not gaining much ownership. One guy I will mention is Alexandre Sarr. He has definitely shown some upside at 6.4K, and he even dominated Jokic.
Alexandre.
That's what it says. It says Alexandre. I don't know. I'm reading what it says. Maybe it's Alexander, but it says DRE. How would you say it, Big T?
I love all your pronunciations.
Yeah. Which one is correct? Is it Alexander or is it Alexandra? It says the RE.
Alexander.
It's whatever way you say it, Travis.
I just read it how I see it.
It's the JT Hayes rule.
Who's the coach? The college coach? He some reporter pronounced Gonzaga. What is it, Gonzaga he pronounced it Gonzaga, right? And he yelled at him.
Yeah,
I was dying at that.
That was Kelvin Sampson. Yeah.
How did he pronounce it?
Gonzaga.
How did
People call it Gonzaga, they do this D-O, which makes no sense because it's not even reading it the way it's said. So, and the reason Kelvin said it was, he said, when he was growing up, his name's Kelvin and people would call him Kevin, and his mom said, "You need to stand up and tell those people that's not my name." So
I hope he doesn't watch our shows. I'll just say that.
Well, listen, Mr. Sarr, if you do watch the show, and you tell me how to say it, I will correct it. But
just say Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr is perfectly fine.
I don't know. I like the Alexandra, right? It adds a.
What was the Nanaji? That was my favorite.
Yeah.
The other day.
The double N?
I did the double N.
That was,
I love that.
Yeah. Zeke Nanaji, right? That's how I said it.
I love that. You got to keep that one for sure.
Yeah, that's a great one.
But so I actually think Sarr is one of those guys. One thing I'll say about the Wizards, they can be frustrating.
The quick adjustment to just Sarr too, by the way. I love it. You're doing good hosting today. I got to talk you up.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
In my bag with the hosting job right now. But I will say Sarr, he is someone I have been just watching play. Big T, I don't know if you saw him dominate Jokic not too long ago. He had 54 DK points against Jokic. He put up 34 real life points. I mean, I do worry about the minutes a little bit with the Wizards, but that's the one Wizard I'm kind of interested in just because he's a young player, and this is the time of year that those guys have upside and can break slate. So he's the one guy on the Wizards I'm interested in. I really want to go lower on the Raptors. AP, I'll get your take on it, though. I assume you're going to want to backload, though, and kind of stay far away from this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the price tag that gets me. I get that he has upside. I think if you're playing 150 lineups, you keep him in your pool. But I think I'm targeting these Qs tonight, and I'm running likely 8 lineups. And I need the flexibility for the later on. And so I can't risk it. And let me give you a good point. So Jordan Poole getting any type of ownership is crazy. I get it, he's 6,300, but they can pull this guy at any time. We saw it with Tristan Vucevic. He was smashing, and then he gets a random DNP basically against the Knicks. I think the guy that I saw that was getting more ownership was AJ Johnson. I would be really careful with him. He's in that same Vucevic type of spot where they could just not play him. We've already seen this Wizards team do it. So I literally X'd them out on my lineups. I'm not risking it. If Marcus Smart puts up 30 in his 15 minutes, so be it. I'm just not going to risk it. I'm not going to go there. Same with Middleton. They have 12 dudes that are going to play tonight. I can't go there against the Raptors. The Raptors on a second end of back-to-back, they've been capping their main guys between like 27 and 29 minutes. Quickly's been the one guy that can maybe get to 30. Again, I think it's fine, but like 6,600, there's kind of like, look at the plays like Jordan Hawkins, Jeff Doughton, Jose Alvarado, these guys. And then even like if we get some craziness later on, like the late hammer is just going to smash tonight. Like the Bulls are a buzzsaw right now, but they're not playing any defense. And I think Denver at home, like they can keep pace. Like Denver's like tough at home. So I want to save as much flexibility as I can for later on. And then the one thing the Raptors have been doing, they've been switching up the starting lineup. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like a Jacoby Walter started 4,300. But again, if he was in the 3K range, I would have more interest. I can't take the risk here. I'm likely Xing out this game unless crazy news or a lineup. Unless like something completely different shows up in these starting lineups or if late news hits. Otherwise, I'm completely off this game.
Yeah, Big T, J Ruff says it good here. We can't play these guys. We got Jeff Doughton. You know what I mean? I'll say this. I played a lot of Jeff Doughton last night, and it worked out.
He was good yesterday, Joe Ruff.
I think I had 75% of him, and he was like 35% in whatever contest I was in. So I was double. I was very happy with Jeff Doughton shares. I'll admit I was scared to click on him because I didn't look too deep at the NBA slate and just kind of got my stuff going while I was doing college basketball. Big T, we got to play Jeff Doughton, so we can't play any Raptors or Washington Wizards. But what's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I love that about this time of year NBA. That the comments like that are actually true. Like they're true. We can laugh at it, but it's true.
My favorite.
It is funny.
My favorite guy I always talk about from back in the day is when Walt Lemon Jr. was a Bull and he was just dropping like 40 fantasy points every day. That's the guy I remember. And no one probably remembers Walt Lemon Jr., but it's just like these are the clowns that we get this time of year.
It's that time of year for sure. And we got this First Kings TV. He loves every early guy. Quickly's gonna nuke. Orlando's gonna nuke. All the early dudes are gonna nuke for first. Is it Kings or Kangs?
First Kings 777 has entered the chat.
Oh, Caldwell Pope's gonna smash too. He's got 4 Magic gonna smash. The Magic are just gonna pull their dongs out. This game looks terrible, though, this Washington game. I mean, Washington plays 17 guys. Toronto, you never know their lineup. Even their good guys like Quickly are crushing, but they're playing like 30 minutes. I mean, this game looks terrible. This game, there is no way I'm playing this game. I could talk about it longer, but AP covered it good. I mean, I'm not even going to waste the time. There's no way I'm playing guys in this game.
Yeah, I understand that. I'll just say this. I might do some SAR shares. He's not going to make my play of the day, but I just worry about the Wizards and their minutes, of course. And we
Alexandre.
Yeah. I'm a fan of it. I will say when you type it in the sheet, I always used to do the ER, and I always got mad that it was not working. And then Captain has it at the RE. So, hey, I just read it how I see it. All right, next game. We get to the 7:30 game. Dallas Mavericks and the Brooklyn Nets. Don't look now. Anthony Davis is back to try and save Glock and the Mavericks. We'll see how it turns out. 10.2K. PJ Washington, 8-2. I'll just say this. With 80 entering back in the lineup, and I think this will be the case with the Nuggets when Jokic enters the lineup again, we're not going to play the Nuggets for like a couple days till the price is correct. I don't see us playing 6.4 Klay Thompson and 6.5K Spencer Dinwiddie. Maybe I'm wrong, AP. Maybe there's a gem you can find here. But for me, I think the Mavericks are just absolute stay away. And then, of course, we got the Brooklyn Nets on the opposite side, which I hate playing the Brooklyn Nets. They always split up these guys' minutes a ton. Maybe a Cam Johnson you can make a case for, but 7K for Cam Johnson, I'm good. I think I'm just going to be under on this game all around. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the question here, because, you said it perfectly, Mangone. Like, AD being back takes away from every other Mavericks player. Dinwiddie's been awesome, but look, it's things are going to flow through AD. PJ Washington's 8,200. We can't go there. Najee Marshall, 7,900. No, like, you can't play those guys now. The question is, how many minutes does AD get? Because on this slate, if he got 30 minutes, which I don't know, I mean, they got to be cautious with him, right? Like, I don't get it all. Like, how many minutes do you think Anthony Davis gets tonight? I haven't seen any type of.
He's not getting 40, right? Like, maybe he goes in there and plays like 26 to like 32 max. That would be my guess, right?
But even like 30 minutes on this team against this Nets team, like, if you knew he was getting 30 minutes, I would have a little bit of interest. I mean, it is tough. Like, I think he's not going to come in like he did in that home game where emotions were high. He was overly aggressive and he was trying to prove a point. You got to think that he comes in a little bit more cautious. At least one would think so. I mean, he looked phenomenal in that first half, and then he obviously got hurt. But 64 fantasy points in 30 minutes. I don't know. I'm going to bet that he gets managed. Obviously, we might get news around that closer to lock. But as it stands right now, unless they come out and say no restriction, I can't get to AD or any of the Mavericks. I do have interest in Cameron Johnson. For some reason, he's the guy that the net, they've been playing like a lot of minutes, like 35 plus. And now no D'Lo. His usage is going to be insane. He's going to have to take a ton of shots. I don't hate the matchup here. And these mid to upper range forward plays, like, I don't know, they can win you tournaments. We saw with Andrew Wiggins yesterday. It's absolutely smashed. So, yeah, the guy I do have some interest in is Cameron Johnson.
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins did have a monster game the other day. He snapped the Heat's 11-game losing streak, I believe it was. So that was good for them. Big T, Anthony Davis or Jeff Doughton? Who do you got? Who are you playing on this slate?
So I knew that Anthony Davis was playing in the G League because of Grayson was telling me or something. How many minutes did he play? I didn't look.
He played in the G League?
That's what Grayson was telling me.
Yeah, he got assigned. I don't know how many minutes he played, though.
Let me see. How many minutes?
I'm curious.
I'm curious, too. Let me see. G League stats.
Did Grayson went to the game?
No, he was watching on the TV, and he's like, Anthony Davis is playing in G League or something.
I want to know what his numbers were in the G League.
I don't see any. I don't know how to even look.
They did say he's going to rest tomorrow. They said he's not going to play the second end of the back-to-back. So again, this is just why I want as much flexibility as possible. Because I could definitely end up on AD if we knew there's no restriction.
Who knows how to find him? Man, Gone, you're the one that's good at this shit. Find out if he played in the G League. The dude in the chat said he did, and Grayson told me he did, but I can't figure out how many minutes. Because if he somehow played, say he played 30-something minutes in the G League, I mean, I'm with AP because there's not that many, like, studs that I have to have on this slate. I think he could definitely be in play at that limited minutes because the projections aren't going to account for any minutes. I mean, right now, what minutes are the projections even giving him? It can't be that many. Let me look.
Yeah, so they just said, and this is what I'm noticing, he was set to practice in the G League. So
so he didn't actually play a game?
I mean, I typed in Anthony Davis G League, and there's like no stats posted or anything. Like, I can't find anything. So.
I got you. It makes sense because I looked, I couldn't find it either. I just thought I was missing it.
Yeah,
but.
he just scrimmaged 5-on-5 and no actual time on the court.
Cool. I mean, it's going to be tough to play him unless you get some info because, I mean, what would I guess at? I would guess somewhere high 20s, especially with his injury past. And you can't play. I mean, you're not playing him at 28 minutes or 26 minutes. Not at 10-2. You just can't do it. So nothing there. I mean, PJ Washington, Najee, these guys are priced like he's out, just like Mangone was talking about. I mean, the more we look at this slate, the more it's just literally built exactly how AP laid it out to start the show with one or two, Paulo, Franz, maybe one more guy, depending on the Anthony Edwards news, of course. But if that comes in new, I mean, and you just play the last two games. You look at Brooklyn, I mean, you can play Cameron Johnson. He's $7K, though. Do I really want to pay $7K for Cameron Johnson? I mean, not really. So, I mean, there is some, like, decent plays. Zaire Williams is a decent play. Tyrese Martin's look good at times. Day'Ron Sharp's look really good a couple games. But you don't have to play these guys, though. And who knows? Maybe by 7:30 – we have more news. Maybe we have who's starting for Denver. Who knows what we have by then? So I do think some of the Brooklyn guys are at least playable in your pool compared to some of those early games. But again, unlike my main team, I'm very happy to play one early guy and then just jam these last 2 games.
All right. Big T, I do have a question in the chat. Cruz says at 9K he would play him. So, but he's not 9K. So,
it gets a lot more interesting if he was like in the 8Ks or 9K. I mean, if he was in the 8Ks, I would play him for sure.
But it's
10K, I mean, because even if he plays 30 minutes, it still might not be enough at 10K. I mean, that's a lot of minutes. That's a lot of price.
But it just doesn't exist. So, it's a fake scenario. It's not possible. So it doesn't really matter. But it's like when the people are like, oh, it was $100 off the nuts. It's like, well, it wasn't a real lineup. So it doesn't matter. It's just the truth. If I would sleep with Sydney Sweeney if she would want to, but she doesn't want to. So it's just the truth.
How long would you make it?
Don't think I'd make it long. I'm going to be honest.
You need some pharmaceuticals when you get in there.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think I would be. I'm not saying I'd be one and done, but I would be one and fast. I'll say that. So.
Oh yeah.
But all right, let's get to AP with all this Sydney Sweeney talk. He wants to talk about Jeff Doughton and the Pelicans and Jordan Hawkins. I mean, he's got the lube ready to watch this game. He is excited. Justin Edwards, Jose Alvarado.
Look at these prices. Oh my God, I want to puke. That's the first time I looked. Jared Butler, 6,100. Oh my God.
You don't want to play him though. He's been terrible.
Yeah, he definitely hasn't been good. Starting lineups will matter, so that'll be important. As
I might like the first couple games more now. Oh my God, these prices.
Yeah.
What were you expecting?
I thought they were cheaper than this. Justin Edwards, 5K.
He's been good, man.
Oh my God.
All right. So the key piece on the Philly side is no Grimes, who's been like a usage monster, like 38% over the last 10 games. So him being out, it really consolidates thing. All right. So Tony, look at what Justin Edwards has been doing, playing alongside Grimes. Now again, I'm not saying I'm all in on Justin Edwards. I think what you do is you create a group rule. You say 1 or 2 max of him, like Ricky Council, Chumo, KK, etc. A few of these guys are going to smash against the Pelicans. The Pelicans play no defense at all. Philly's been running somewhat of a tight rotation. I think and Jeff Doughton's he's been pretty good. 36 in 25 minutes. That was along Grimes. Look at the games. Indiana, he played 40 minutes, shot the ball a ton. I think you're going to want some of these guys. Now, again, if you don't want to stack this game up, play the early games. I think the early games suck. I think there's far more risk in some of the early games. I'm definitely going to have a bunch of Philly here. I think Doughton's fine. If you're not on Doughton, I think you've got to consider Jalen Hood, 4,100. If he doesn't smash, this dude is likely the reason why. He's had some monster numbers, monster performances in the G League. Hasn't yet had the opportunity to get going because of what Quentin Grimes has been doing. So I think Philly is just, a smash spot. I think it's a good Ricky Council spot too. But again, like Big T was alluding to with the comments there is some risk here because it's not like these guys are 3K. And the guy that's going to go unowned too, no one's going to play. I don't think anyone will play Jared Butler just because when you pull up the box scores, he hasn't looked good. But again, Quentin Grimes is the big factor here, and him being out is just massive. His role lately has been absolutely ridiculous. The Pelicans side, they ruled out a ton of dudes. It's a smash spot for Jordan Hawkins. He should absolutely. He's gonna fire, and he's been shooting the ball much better of late. Coming off a really nice game yesterday against Detroit. They're pretty thin too in the backcourt, depending on how much they want to play Elf. So again, there's more risk there, but Elfrid Payton sucks. So you got to think we're going to get a lot of Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins. The guy I'm not super sold on unless Messi gets ruled out is Kelly Olynyk. He's old. He's only playing 22 to 25 minutes. He could smash, but again, it's another risky part of the rotation. He's a guy that's currently projecting to get quite a bit of minutes. Now, the guys that honestly, I think are really interesting in tournaments would be like the flat 3K guys, Antonio Reeves, Keon Brooks, the $3,200 plays, $3,100 plays that likely come off the bench. They could start too. Like if Messi's out, we could get a completely different starting lineup. This is why I want to prioritize waiting for this news, waiting to see what the starting lineup is going to look like between both of these two teams.
Yeah, the starting lineup is important. Hey, AP, do you feel confident Jared Butler starts? Like, if you had to project the starting five, I could see putting him in there, but like my thought process is Doughton for sure starts, Edwards starts, Yabusele, and then I'm guessing
I think both start, man. Like I don't like Yabusele. Like it's a second and a back-to-back. That's why again, like if they're all flat, in the 3K range, yeah, it would be you just auto click, but. This is why I need those free roster spots. I have no idea. Like we could get a completely different starting lineup tonight. I want to make sure I have that information and I can adjust accordingly.
That was the point I was getting at. Is I sure Butler could start, but would I be surprised? Like I said, I think there's a chance Rookie Council could start over Jared Butler. That wouldn't shock me. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. So that's why I think leaving the roster spots open does make a lot of sense. Another thing to think about, AP, and I think sometimes people don't think this through a little bit, is they'll say, oh, if I play like one or two of these early guys, it's fine. And then they make pivots and then they're like, oh, shit, I'm getting off Jordan Hawkins. I wanted to play him all day, and now I'm getting off him. And so you got to leave a lot of roster spots open, in my opinion, and make sure you're prepared to make these pivots properly. Big T, we'll go over to you. How are you preparing to make these pivots with all these good plays on the Pelicans and Sixers game?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Pelicans side way more than the Sixers side, personally. I think Antonio Reeves is the best play on the slate. He's just an absolute scorer, and this is just the absolute nut spot for him. I can't imagine myself making any team without Reeves. And Brooks, for that matter, too. I think Brooks is – I like those two calls from AP, too. Brooks, also a very good play in the low 3Ks. But then, like you said, Jordan Hawkins, Jose Alvarado – great plays as well. Kelly Olynyk, I think, is pretty good play. I love the New Orleans side. If Messi misses too, I think you can go to some other Robinson Earl. I mean, all these guys. I love the New Orleans side. I'm definitely a little more skeptical on the Philly side, but the one positive I'll say, they just don't have any guys. So someone's gonna have to put stats up against New Orleans. So it might be a tough click for me to go. I actually like Jared Butler better. Just I know I'm definitely not as piped in right now as these guys to the NBA, but just knowing talent, I've seen Jared Butler play a while. Doughton, looking at the game logs even, I don't see that much difference in these guys. I like the Butler call better. I don't like Justin Edwards' talent level that much for 5K. Ricky Council. These guys are good plays. I'm not saying they're not, but I like the Pelican side to me is just a nut. And then the late game. So, yeah, I'm going to the late two games are just so good. I mean, I know we've said it the whole show. Play an early stud, check the Ant news, and just shove the late two games as much as you can and just go collect your money. So, for me, though, I'm definitely way higher on the Pelican side than the Philly side.
But hey, Big T, like, don't you think, like, the Kelly Olynyk, and look, he's getting a lot of projected ownership, and I just don't get it. Like, why not let these younger guys go to work? Because the Antonio Reeves play, and like I don't see how he doesn't smash. Like
he's
at 3,100,
smash. He just has to. He's a scorer too. Like this is a dream spot for him. He has to.
I mean, the one argument I'll make for the Kelly Olynyk stuff is, I mean, and I know we're later in the year, but Willie Green did talk up how he really liked Kelly Olynyk. Like, I don't know why, but he said he loves Kelly Olynyk. So, I just thought
Olynyk's definitely like a condom type play for sure. But I don't think he's like bad.
I don't think he's a condom play. I think he's.
Oh, of course you don't. You never think these 50% owned guys with the freaking mullet on his head. Yeah, I mean, you don't think he's a condom play?
I don't think he's a condom play. I mean, I think he has upside. Like, I don't know how you don't think he doesn't have upside in this spot. Like, he does.
He never does shit.
I mean, against Utah, he had 46 DK points. Like, he can do that. Like, it's possible. Like, at the 5K range. And of course, he's at that forward spot, which isn't a great position sometimes. He's definitely not it's not as bad as you think, Tony. That's all. If you want to say he's over-owned, I can understand that.
Well, that's part of it being a condom play.
No, it's not. That's not a part of it.
It says he's 40% owned.
No, it's not part of it being a condom play.
Kelly Olynyk at 40% on a freaking March 24th slate is, AP, you're the tiebreaker. Is it a condom play or not?
Oh, no, it's very much a condom play.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Me, AP, and Darnell all agree that it's a condom play.
That's fine. I disagree. So, but maybe
it's all projection though. How is it a condom play? Like he's going to play
definition of
24
a
minutes
play.
Again,
condom on birth control play.
We disagree.
It's not even a magnum. It's one of those it's like one of those extra small condoms too. Like
not even the big ones.
Not even the big one.
I'm excited to make Kelly Olynyk my play of the day. It'll be fun. I'm just kidding. But
there is a lot. All right, so keep in mind too, this game projects like to be awesome for fantasy because it's value that obviously enhances everything else you can do. There are still dudes, especially on the Pelican sides, that are active. Like, so I mean, there's risk here. Like, it was a huge blowout, but it was against, I think, Minnesota. They went to Elf too quickly, I thought, and he's been terrible though. He's been so bad. So hopefully they don't do that. But it is two teams tanking, so keep that in mind.
It is worth mentioning. Elf is on that 10-day contract where they play those 10-day contract guys a little bit more, which, I don't get the Elf Payton stuff, but hey, they decided to sign him. They have
back in the NBA
because the Pelicans, they gave him a 10-day contract. I don't know. I mean, he used to play for the Pelicans. I don't know if Willie Green was there during
15 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if Willie Green was the coach. Willie Green's been the coach for a while, so I'm not sure.
At least he cut his hair.
Yeah.
Remember his hair, how bad it used to be?
Now. I always liked
Magic. Oh my gosh.
The hair was like basically bouncing and it was like would block his shot basically. It was always funny. But all right. Well, I will mention this, Tony. I know you liked Antonio Reeves a little bit, but they do have let me count the guys. They got 2, 4, 6, 8. They do have 10 guys. 2 of them are Elf Payton and Jamal Cain, but they do technically have 10 guys. So are you going to lean into these like bench guys more than the starters, Tony?
Just Reeves and Keon Brooks. They're not starters, are they?
They will not. I assume
they're not starters. Then I'm leaning into them. I like Reeves, Brooks, and Robinson Earl. Robinson Earl if Messi's out, but I like the whole team honestly because I don't like Elf. I don't like Jamal Cain. I don't like Quinones, Lester the molester. All these guys in there. I don't like those guys.
I will admit the Messi stuff does matter for because then it would only be 9 guys. And I assume you'll have Alvarado and Olynyk and Hawkins as starters, and then the other 2 would be either a Messi or a JRE or a Makovic probably. So that's basically it. Clearly a good game. We'll obviously, we'll have all the updates in Discord and on the site. The starting lineup's going to matter.
Lester the molester. That's hilarious.
Let's get to AP's going to love this game. Let's
when you pull up what he looks like, it's just even funnier.
All right, let's get to Bulls and Nuggets. Clearly a game that we got to talk about. It's going to be one of the games of the slate. No Jokic. Aaron Gordon questionable, which I'll tell you this. Aaron Gordon being in his bag was been crazy when he was putting up basically splashing 3-pointers back to back. It was insane what he was doing. We'll see what happens with him today. Russell Westbrook, he is 7.5K. I'll mention that because, hey, price has gone up, but it's an elite matchup. Jamal Murray, 8.1K. Aaron Gordon, 6'5". Michael Porter Jr., 6'8". Christian Brown, 6K. And then flow chart play, DeAndre Jordan, he's at 3K. We'll see what they end up doing with him. And, of course, I got the Bulls side of the ball. Josh Giddey is 9.1K. He is a stud that people are going to be interested in today. You got Nikolai Vucevic. You got Kobe White at 8K. Kevin Huerter. I mean, these stars have been good. AP, you're going to have your eyes on this game. It's a late night hammer. It's, I believe, an hour after the other game. So who knows if we'll have all the news on this game. But what is your thoughts on this game, AP?
Yeah, so the nice thing about the Bulls is with them playing well, it just makes for a better fantasy environment. And then you look at the spread here, the Nuggets, despite no Jokic, maybe no Aaron Gordon, they're still favorites. That's just, I mean, it's tough like playing them in Denver. So I think this game's going to be competitive. And look at the total, like almost 240 points. I mean, you get like, the more I think about it, and the point to kind of go off of what Big T was alluding to, I could see myself maybe only having like one Philly play and maybe, a couple Pelicans like deep values, and then just full like, and then a Franz or Paulo, and then stacking this game up. Just because I think the pace is going to be really nice. Jamal Murray, I definitely want Tony's opinion on this, but I was kicking myself yesterday when I saw they moved Westbrook back to the bench. I'm like, oh, Jamal Murray's going to smash. I just, man, when they separate the two, I just think it's a lot better for Jamal, unless like Jokic is in there, because Jokic and him, they got the 2-man game going and stuff. But I mean, Malone even said they're like, we need him. What they say, like we need him like taking 25 shots a game or something without Jokic in there, and this is the best matchup to do so. So I think Jamal Murray, one of the best plays on the slate. I think so. We need the Aaron Gordon news. 6,500 is a big price tag. You got to think that MPJ is going to go off. I really like him if Aaron Gordon's out. I think from a peripheral standpoint, it just increases his viability. He's going to have to get more rebounds. He's going to have to be more aggressive. Christian Brown is the one guy that I just, without Jokic, he's not been good. With Jokic, he's been awesome. Like he's like the one guy right now I'm really struggling with. And if Gordon was out and if they started Westbrook, I think he'd become maybe the best tournament play on the slate in this specific matchup against a Bulls team with like no rim protection at all. So again, this is why we need starting lineups. We got to be able to make some adjustments. But as it stands right now, Jamal Murray, awesome play. And then, yeah, Josh Giddey, I don't see how you don't play this guy. Like what he's been doing is insane. And didn't even get full run against the Lakers. They blew them out. He's just been a beast right now. Kobe White feels a little overpriced. And I think Vucevic is a really strong play tonight. He's like the one guy that feels a little underpriced. We haven't seen full run from him yet. Kind of got it against the Kings, but he's actually been playing really good. He's been really efficient as well. So absolutely love this game. Going to have multiple pieces likely from both sides.
All right, Big T. I saw someone talk about Vucevic's game logs. I just decided to pull them up. And I know he's been playing good, but he has shown some upside. You'll probably tell me that Vucevic is a condom play and he's very bad at basketball in this spot, but I don't think he's a bad play. I thought the chat brought up a pretty good point. Curious to get your take on what you're doing with your Nuggets and the Chicago Bulls.
So Vooch is not a condom play because he's not owned. Like he can't be a condom play when you're 8% owned. So that's the difference, but he is kind of a condom play. He has the definition of a condom play just with how he is. But I like him more, so I'm not going to make fun of it as much.
I don't think ownership affects the condom play as much as you.
Why, though? Because you need more upside out of guys. I mean, we disagree on that part.
Yeah, we just disagree on it. I'm just stating that we have a disagreement.
That's what makes it fun. Road dog play. What's road dog? Oh, raw dog play of the day. I like that. Yeah, I mean, this game's good. So for the Bulls side, Giddey, I totally agree. He's playing better because his lady turned 18, the chat said. I agree. She turned 18. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore. He's in good shape. And now he just starts dropping 70 burgers all over the place. So I love Giddey. I think Kobe White's a pretty good play too, honestly. Like Denver's defense is going to be significantly worse without Jokic. I never thought I'd say that, but this unit, you just look at their roster and they don't have a ton, especially if Gordon's out. Like if Gordon's out, the defense is even worse. I think Gordon probably sits too. I don't know, maybe not, but Denver isn't really playing for anything. I mean, looking at the standings, they're just trying to get healthy for the playoffs, to stay healthy. I don't really see it. So I like Vooch too. Even Kevin Huerter, I don't think anyone will like him at 5,700, but these are the guys that have killed Denver all year. These shooters that get open off penetration, Giddey driving, kicking. I think Huerter could have a sneaky big game tonight too. So I love the Bulls. The Bulls in this spot are a great spot. And then Denver, I mean, Jamal Murray, AP talked him up. He was probably going to be my play of the day. I don't even understand his projection. I mean, I think he should be projected like 50 at least against this Bulls team. So I think Jamal Murray's a great play. I think Westbrook's a great play. Whether he starts or not, I think he's a great. If he starts, I have a hard time not playing him. One of my tough decision points will be Kobe White or Westbrook in that same price range. I like both guys, though. Michael Porter Jr. is kind of sneaky, too. I'd put him in the same thing as like Herder, even though they're not the same price. I mean, DeAndre, I definitely can't play DeAndre. Maybe if he starts, if I see him in, I don't think he starts, though. Maybe he does. I mean, because the big game was yesterday, right? It was Sunday, right?
It's such a different matchup, too. I mean, the Rockets, they ran out Şengün and Steven Adams, like, for the entire game.
Yeah.
And just like with how the Bulls play, like Vucevic isn't banging down low. I mean, I think again, that's why we need that news. I would not be surprised if like Russ came back. Like Malone's a matchup guy, like, and he talked about that like in his presser and stuff. So I don't know. DeAndre's definitely a tougher play. Unless he gets 38 minutes again.
AP, we didn't know if he starts, right? It's you'll know.
Yeah.
The hand will be shown by the Nuggets if he starts. And could he start in this spot? No, it wouldn't surprise me if he started. Honestly, if he does start, you know who's going to crush is Vucevic, right? I mean, he would absolutely.
He's like my favorite play.
Yeah, like so. But that's why you got to have these roster spots open. The other problem too is
that's where the Vooch comes, like Van Gone's saying, though. Like Vooch is a way better play if DeAndre starts than if he doesn't. Like, what if Zeke Naji starts? Vooch becomes a bad play.
You mean Zeke Nnaji when he starts?
Zeke Nnaji, I apologize. Zeke Nnaji.
Yeah. When Zeke Nnaji starts, man, like, first of all, he is good when he starts, right? And this is why starting lineups matter. And on top of that, Big T, I think you have to think about how you build your lineups with all this. Like, let's say you're a hand builder and you have DeAndre Jordan by himself, what are you swapping to, right? You're going to put yourself.
Put Zeke in at 3,100. Oh, I guess it's not the same. Oh, it is. He's center too, so yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do that, right? So you have those.
One of them has to start, right? Like either Zeke or DeAndre starting.
But Big T, my point is, you need to make a plan going into that, right? You could
play Zeke.
Yeah. So Zeke is certainly one of the ways you can go. Also, Russell Westbrook. AP, talk about Russell Westbrook a little bit more. I don't know if you talked a lot about him, but I think at the top of the show, you said he was someone you really liked. Like, do you think at that price tag, he's still a great play in this matchup?
I think if he starts, he is. I think yesterday was like the worst matchup for him. And I think today is probably the best matchup for him. So, like, I think it's a matchup type thing. And, like, I don't know. I mean, and if Aaron Gordon sits, like,
sure.
They gotta. I mean, what are they gonna do? Like they don't hate this lineup where Russ starts, you know. So I think that's why you need, like you said, a plan. But you got to be prepared for some change up in this game. And I agree. Like I'm planning on under projecting DeAndre Jordan. I mean, he put up 38 DraftKings points yesterday. He played 38 minutes. Let's just say in this game he starts, and let's just say Vucevic is cooking him. Malone's going to make an adjustment, and that adjustment's going to impact DeAndre Jordan. And if he doesn't play 38 minutes again, I mean, it's just a tougher spot. So I what's his ownership at too, Mangone? I haven't looked at that. He's got to be getting some, right?
You said Westbrook's ownership or DeAndre?
No, DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, he's currently
Westbrook's not going to be owned. He's 7,500.
So
like no one's going to play him.
Currently at this time, DeAndre Jordan is 40% owned. Now, he's got a 28 projection at SaberSim, right? It depends what site you're looking at. If you're
I would literally bet my left nut that he doesn't get no 28 fantasy points.
No, not back-to-back.
If he starts, I don't know. I mean,
you're going to take over 28?
Oh.
What line are you giving me? You're willing to give up your left nut. What line are you giving me?
Well,
I'll take under 28.
What's my left nut worth? It's got a lot of, well, actually, it doesn't have that many seeds anymore. I got it cut out of there, but it did have a lot of good seeds.
Sure, I would take the under if you just made the line right now and no information, but I'm saying
I'd be confident to set his number like 18 right now and take the under. As long as I get credit when he just DNPs.
I mean, he could DNP. That's fair. I mean, the Aaron Gordon news matters along the way, right? J-Ruff, I don't want Tony's left nut. I just think it's not. I mean, I would value my left nut. I don't know.
You'll need the extra nut for Sweetie.
Jeez, the chat is on fire. But point being is I want to have the roster spots open. I've said this a lot on these shows. I'm playing these slates I'm playing not just for just tonight, right? I'm thinking through all of the slates. And when I run into the complete nut scenario, I want to make sure I have the opportunity to win with it. So we'll see what the news is. I'll tell you this. If you don't have the news, AP, and that game is about to lock, that Sixers-Pelicans game.
Just play Zeke Nnaji. I keep saying it. Just play Zeke Nnaji. And then
Zeke
if DeAndre
Nnaji,
starts,
baby. Let's go.
Zeke Nnaji. I keep freaking messing it up. Zeke Nnaji.
Yeah.
Play him, and then if DeAndre starts, play DeAndre.
That's the way to do it. So, hey.
Because if Zeke starts, which I think Zeke will start in my opinion, Zeke's a great play at 3,100, and he's not going to be owned because right now he's not projected to start.
Yeah, and to be honest, the steals and blocks upside that he has is pretty good too. So that's another thing to talk about.
And you know what? If you're like, just watch the lineup, and if DeAndre starts, just do DeAndre.
Yeah. I will say you could see them go Aaron Gordon, they go Peyton Watson at the 4, and then you're playing a bench guy, and then the bench guy you play is Zeke, right? Zeke Nnaji would be the bench guy.
I mean, I wouldn't. To be fair, on this slate with as much value as there is, I would not want to do that unless I was very desperate.
You know what you could do? Just because this game's 9 Eastern, I'm still thinking about Russ because I'm like, if he starts, it's just the perfect matchup. Jamal, like, they ran, like, how many minutes did Jamal play yesterday? Like 38, 39? 38 minutes. I just, let's say you put Kobe White, who's 8K, in that guard spot. You're easily going to be able to pivot to, say, like a Russ Westbrook. And he can't be owned. I don't see how he gets any ownership tonight at 7,500. This is, again, we're like assuming so much right now.
His projection's pretty big, though.
I was showing, like 6% ownership?
Sabres got it. Well, at least on mine's got him 15%, but he's got a big projection too. It's still not owned though in NBA. I'm with you. Like, I love Westbrook.
Yeah, and you could even come up with scenarios like, let's say you have Russell Westbrook at 7.5K. Maybe you pivot down to Christian Brown, and then you move your DeAndre Jordan all the way up to Peyton Watson, right? Like, there's things you can do, especially if you're someone that plays 1 to 3 lineups. Of course, for MMA, just pull up the optimizer, make your adjustments, and go from there. So it's kind of the
stuff. They still have that or the king of the court. Or I'm in Nebraska, so I can't do it. But
they don't have it today. They typically do it on Wednesdays.
I was gonna say Russ would be a great pick for that.
Yeah, that's fair. The only argument you can make, AP, which I wonder if that matters, is because it's a night game and people that miss out, maybe they play more of like the later ones. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I agree. Russell Westbrook would be a great call for that. Denny actually won the other day, and you can actually pick 2 king of the courts now. When you do it, all you gotta do is parlay it. And I think with Denny, people won like $1,300. I thought it'd be a lot more, but it was definitely less. I think it was because
$1,300's a lot off that promotion, to be fair.
Yeah, but when I did it, I won like $1,200 with James Harden. So that's why I was confused about the Denny stuff. But
I also gotta be like, I'm not playing Russ. I'm only playing him if he starts. If he doesn't start, I'm not playing. So just to be clear with all the Russ chatter.
All right. Good call out there. We should pivot over to the plays of the day. We got everything talked about. We got to get out of here soon because we got to make sure we get lineups updated and everything and get our content moving along. News is going to start to fly in. Actually, we did get some news, so I will mention what we have gotten so far. So Rui is available and LeBron James. I saw that was one of the pieces of news that came by. I also saw that Rui won't play his full minutes, so if that matters to you. And then Ant Edwards is a game-time decision. We got the Magic starting lineup, which is Corey Joseph, Caldwell Pope. I know our guy, Mr. Kings, is excited about Caldwell Pope starting here. Franz Wagner, Banchero, and Carter Jr. Benedict Mathurin, or Mathurin, as AP calls it, he will play. So that's news there on that. And Cole Anthony out, and nothing on Anthony Davis and his expected minutes. But I think that's all the news. I don't think I missed anything there. AP, it's time for you to give your play of the day. You're dialed in. This
to get captain to get these projections up is what we need. I've been refreshing it all show.
Oh,
Chef
come on,
Frank. Captain, Chef Frank, we need you. We need you, Captain.
AP, I think it's time to give the play of the day and yell at Captain as well. So I'm
just did. I usually have my alarm set, yell at Captain every 15 minutes. Yeah, so we got two of the most exciting whites in the league headed to Florida, Orlando, Florida, to take on another exciting white in Franz Wagner, who's going to be my play of the day in the opening window.
All right, Franz Wagner. It is all right. I'll get to my play, and I'm gonna go. I was told this guy's not a condom play, so I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with Nikola Vucevic. He is my play of the day. Hopefully, he gets DeAndre Jordan defense, and he will absolutely feast against this Denver Nuggets team that is struggling defensively. Big T, you're up next. Who is the workbench play of the day?
The one thing I don't understand about, like Franz, I know I'm a game log watcher, but the dude hasn't hit. Is there like more guys out or something?
Cole Anthony has been out. Let me explain why.
Cole Anthony playing? Like why is he like?
No, he's.
Well, Big T, he's
going to be good tonight. I don't think he'll be owned too. So
Big T, here's the thing, and I've explained this a lot. AP, I know, has gotten on board with it. Forward sucks. This is why I talk about Tobias Harris and Kelly Olynyk. Like, we have spend down guards, right? We have it pretty much almost every single slate, or we have spend up guards like a Luka we want to play. So sometimes you just got to spend your money for forward.
How is Franz a better play? I'm always team Paulo, but how is Franz better than Paulo? Is it a matchup? Is it like a?
He's $1,000 difference.
Oh, wait. I never said he's a better player. I'm playing both of these guys, and I'll have probably equal shares.
We can play them both together, you think?
No, I'm playing one or the other. So, like, all my lineups will have at least one of them, most likely. But it's one or the other. I'm not playing them together.
Well, I get.
But I'm definitely more of a Paulo guy, typically. I like this matchup. I mean, I like the matchup for both of them, but I think Franz gets it done.
All right. AP thinks Franz gets it done. Big T, who do you think gets it done?
I got to go with my boy Antonio Reeves. I'm hoping he doesn't. I'm looking at owner. Is he going to like get ownership or not? I mean, Saber has him at 1%. There's no way he's 1%. I refuse to believe that. But
who?
Antonio Reeves.
Yeah, Tony. No one's playing him. You like to play Adam Flagler. He was not owned. No one's playing him.
Oh, there you go. Get the Flagler play in there.
So it's such a different play.
Reeves is going to be owned?
He's not going to be owned. No one is playing him.
I want to let my hundo ride from the 1 week golf bet that Reeves ends up over 10%.
Well, if Misi's out, that changes things. So
if Misi's out, then it's off.
So
Misi's in.
Okay, so
I want to let my hundo ride.
All right, so you say if Misi is in,
over 10%.
You think he's over 10%?
He's 1% right now on Saber, so I'm giving you 10% courtesy.
Yeah, I mean, my only argument is he has to come off the bench. If he starts, he'd be over it. That's the other thing.
Oh, you're going to put all these freaking stipulations in?
Yeah,
of course, if he starts, he's going to be higher. He might start, though.
No, he's not. So let me think it through.
You just made fun of me with Flagler.
I'm trying to think if he could actually start. Let me think it through. Can I think through my bet?
Yeah, think it through, but you were talking crap about Flagler.
No, it's fair. I mean, this isn't like deal or no deal where I got to make the decision right now and they're pressuring me. I'm just trying to think it through. Bean Eric, get out of here. I'm gonna ban your ass again. I'm gonna put you in timeout because that's what we do. You're in timeout for that one. Who would start at the 3? Man, so
you did get beat air out of there.
Yeah. Let them know.
Yes.
All right, I'll make the bet with you because I think
just in the main tournament, whatever it is. Though.
Yeah. The main $15 or $11, whatever it is today. I don't know what the dollar amount is. We'll make the deal. AP, you're on mute, so no one knows what you're saying right now. Maybe he's on a phone call and he's getting out of here soon. But hey, Big T, is that your play of the day, Antonio Reeves?
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's even more so now.
All right, Antonio Reeves. It is. AP is on
the switch to the other account. Suck it, he said. Oh, that's funny.
We can do that real quick.
How many accounts do you think he's got?
He's got like 11, but I just figured
if he comes back in again that quick, he's an actual champion.
He's got a blue one, so that says Brandon McNair. So there you go. So that's one of the bits from the show now. We absolutely just banned McNair for fun. But all righty, that is going to wrap it up for us. Thanks a lot for joining us on the show. Get into the Run Pure Sports Discord. Use that code RPS15 for 15% off. But for me, man, going AP and Big T. We'll see you guys later.